Hey, what's up guys? Kevin the Tech Ninja here. And over the past few years with TVs, you'll notice a trend. You see the trend between TVs start to do this, where you get these lower end TVs that may not have a lot of features, and then you have high end TVs with a ton of features, but you don't understand why these TVs are $4,000 and $5,000. But it seems like there is a middle market that is missing, and TCL 8 series is here to fill the gap. TCL has been known to have TVs priced aggressively while giving you features of TVs that are more expensive, and the TCL 8 series is here to do the same thing. A full disclaimer, TCL sponsored me to come out to check out the TCL 8 series, but during my time there, they did not provide any feedback or any direction, and they have not seen the video prior to it going live. This is just my opinion, and they just had me come out to check it out instead of sending me a TV. So the TCL 8 series comes in two different sizes, a 65-inch at $1,999 or the 75-inch at $2,999. These are going to be available exclusively through Best Buy online or in store. So the first thing I want to talk about with this TV is going to be the display, and as far as the technology behind the screen and what makes the TCL 8 series different than previous TCL TVs, and why this TV is going to be considered their flagship TV, more premium than what we've seen in the past. This is the first TV in the world that comes with mini LED backlights with 100% DCI P3 color coverage. And what that means is this. So LEDs are used to light a TV, and the more LEDs you have, obviously, the better it is. So these are mini LEDs. These are smaller LEDs that are going to be with the TV, and we'll talk about why that's important pretty soon. But just know this technology is very new, and this is the first TV to actually have it. And also, when we talk about color, it has a wide color gamut. So that means you have a broad array of colors. So, you know, some TVs can look a little muddy, or some TVs, if you see a shade of red, you can't see all the little details in the red. This right here has the color gamut that allows for all the shades of red. And this TV is considered a QLED or a quantum dot TV. Now, to me, I personally own OLED TVs, which is a different technology altogether. And what OLED does is it turns off individual pixels. And to me, it's known as like the king as far as picture quality and black levels. TCL is very confident with their 8 series TV. They actually had the top of the line LG TV in a room right next to their TCL 8 series TV. This TV they have is a $3,500 TV versus the $2,000 TCL 8 series TV. Now, looking at the picture right now, can you tell which TV is the more expensive TV? The answer most likely will be no. So what you're seeing here is local dimming at work. So as I said, the OLEDs turn off individual pixels. Well, this TV actually can dim zones of pixels. Now, TCL does not publicly say how many dimming zones there are available on this TV, but you can really see that these black levels are really, really good. Now, if you do get extremely close to it, then you can sort of see a little bit of blooming, but if you're at a distance of where you'll be seated in the couch, the comparison and the technology between OLED and these mini LEDs is almost indistinguishable. And to me, I'm actually impressed because I'm a firm believer of OLED, like OLED or nothing, but this is actually standing up to the OLED very well. Also, a drawback with OLED is that it doesn't have great brightness, and the mini LED TV actually gets brighter than the OLED with regular brightness and also peak brightness too. So TCL is pretty big in the gaming community too, and some of their higher end TVs have this gaming mode built into it, and this TV does too. So TCL has auto game mode, which basically if you connect any gaming console to the TV, it automatically turns on. And what this does, it gives you the lowest input lag performance, which means when you're gaming and you press a button on the controller, it reacts on the TV as fast as possible. Some TVs don't have this great gaming mode like you'll see with some of the OLEDs, And what happens is you get a not so great gaming experience, but this TV is made for gamers and it has the gaming mode built into it too. And the games we played were Forza and NBA 2K, two games that require some timing, and I didn't notice any sort of fall off compared to using the TV versus when you played on a proper gaming monitor. Also, the games looked really good too for what it's worth. The HDR on Forza is amazing, and I mean, Forza just looks great as it is, but seeing it on this TV was a real treat. And having that precise input lag and also having that display overall just made a real good synergy between the two. The 8 series also has a different contrast technology, what TCL likes to call quantum contrast. This helps the TV produce images that looks identical to OLEDs, as I mentioned before. And I felt when it was in the room with the light coming in that the brightness was pretty good. It did kick through pretty good, even though we had some direct sunlight coming into it. Now, I wouldn't say it's top of the line as far as brightness, but it does get brighter than an OLED. And for most people's sitting arrangements, I think the brightness is good enough. Of course, I'm gonna have some specs on the screen so you can look at it and compare yourself, but I'm just talking about how it looked to the naked, untrained eye. Now, in terms of form factor, this is how the TV actually looks. I'm actually not a fan of how the TV looks, personally. It has this stand that sits in front, which I really don't like. But of course, if you're gonna wall mount the TV, as I tend to do with all my TVs, the stand is a non-factor. But when you take away the stand, then you are left with a really nice looking TV. Has very thin bezels, and also the back is thinner than I thought it would be for a TV that has LEDs. Now, the TV does get a little bit thicker towards the bottom where you can access the ports and also power supply, which is very common on TVs. But overall, once you get the stand out of the way, I think the TV does look pretty good, and it can, especially when you put on a wall, it will blend into the wall very good as well. So on the software side of things, it is rocking Roku OS. A lot of people love Roku, and for good reason. Roku has over 5,000 streaming channels and over 500,000 streaming movies and TV shows too. But as far as ease of use, there's nothing easier than Roku. The OS runs extremely fast, and also the voice remote lets you search for what you're looking for really fast. I know plenty of people that will buy a TV just because it has Roku OS built into it, or they'll buy a Roku to plug it into their TV that even has its own OS, just because Roku is that easy to use and people are familiar with it. So this TV does have upscaling, because if you're watching content that's 1080p, you want it to be on your 4K display. And I found that upscaling was pretty good. When you're watching 1080p content, it upscales to 4K without much fuss, looks pretty good. Now, when you're upscaling 720p content, things don't look as crisp, but overall, when you're watching at a decent distance, it looks really good. So upscaling on the 8 series is actually pretty good, which I'm really happy to see. So this TV does have Dolby Vision HDR. So if you're watching content on Netflix and you get that little Dolby Vision icon, you can expect a really good experience when it comes to the video, HDR, and also audio. Now, I'm not a person that uses my audio on the actual TV because I don't find those speakers to be great compared to a soundbar or home theater system, but we did test out the audio on the TV, and even though it's backfiring, it does sound pretty good. When you go into Dolby, then it actually does the simulated 3D effect, which isn't horrible by any means, but I still recommend getting yourself a soundbar or a home theater setup. So overall, this is the TCL 8 series TV. TCL once again can give you specs and give you a TV that is a fraction less than the competition while giving you some of the performance of the competition. Now, I was blown away when it was next to an OLED TV, which is very expensive compared to this TV. An OLED TV for a 65-inch is around $3,500, and this TV is $2,000 for a comparable size. So if you look at that factor alone in price, $2,000 is a bargain compared to $3,500. Now, is it an OLED TV? No, it's not OLED, but when you're looking at these TVs, you're watching it, and also if you consider brightness in this gaming mode, this might be a better TV than an OLED TV. But of course, those are my opinions of the TV after using it all day. I had a chance to game and watch movies and content, and I had free roam with the TV with my boy Andrew and also Dan. Anyways, guys, that's all I have. A big thanks for TCL for having me come out and check the TV out. I'd rather have one in my house, but I can live with just going out there to check it out. Anyways, guys, Kevin the Tech Ninja, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.